Is that not a great gospel? I hope you can fit into it. It is so easy to talk about Christ in that context. And so we're going to do that. Last evening at the 4:30 Mass, I talked about the Olympics because I thought it had such great meaning for all of us, a world event that brings us all together when 4 billion people are watching and all, it's going on, and how China had the courage to say, we can do it, after they had waited 100 years to get this chance that we could put on a modern Olympic. And I'm so proud that they did. But anyway, they said, that's it, they didn't say anything. So I'm not giving that homily. When I got home last night, I thought, well, you win some, you lose some. So anyway, when I got home, our lake, stirred up, and there was real gale winds here. And I could fit right into the gospel and the apostles and our Lord and everything. And I did, what we all do. You get scared. And I don't know what you do, but I pray into my hands, like, and then they look up, it's still there, but I feel better. And, you respond by calling on God, because we are so limited, so frail, and, we just aren't too much. We aren't. And so we always call on God somehow to help us out. In that gale, the patio furniture blew away, and this morning I found it wasn't broken anyway. And so anyway, that was it. But let's talk about today's gospel then. Here's our Lord working the crowd, feeding, talking, preaching, healing, all these people coming around him all the time and, wanting something from him. He had to grow weary and spent and tired and wondering, if he could go on. He was a very strong man, but he knew how to take care of himself too, physically and spiritually. And so what did he do? He went alone to pray and to rest. Now, if he can do that, this is my message, so can you. If he did it, so should you and I. We must not allow ourselves just to be used up and spent by our kids, our marriage, our jobs, the news, the world that, we live in, all the commercials. We're all alike. We know what I'm saying. You have to step back and say, hold it. Stop the world. I got to get off. And you must do that. Listen to your heart. I assume that a lot of you do. I sure do. I have to. I must. Just step back and take care of yourself. Don't let the world eat you alive, and then pray. And prayer isn't necessary, it's not always multiplying a lot of words. It's just being there, being filled with God's holiness, listening to his words, listening to those words perhaps where our Lord says, oh, you of little faith, why do you doubt so much? Don't you know? I'm going to help you. And so I hope you do that. Peter, on the other hand, do you like Peter? I like Peter because he was so like many of us who are very emotional, very impulsive, very immature, say things we don't mean, don't ever think before we speak, speak in order to know what you're thinking. And so that's Peter. And so our Lord liked him an awful lot and used him. So feel at home if you're like that. So Peter, you know the story. He says, okay, let me walk on the water. I just love that. And so he did, until he lost confidence. And then he began to sink. Isn't that a moment? And then our Lord caught him, He went along with him, Come on, see if you can do it. With my help you can do it, but don't you lose faith. And so Peter began to sink. And our Lord said to him, as he will say to you and me in our prayers, don't be afraid. No, you are afraid. Fear is part of us. We can't help it. It's just walk through that fear. Just do it. Just do it. And gradually things will come out okay. We don't wait till we don't feel fear. We walk through the fear and get it done. An extraordinary example of that right at this moment are the 10,500 people at the Olympics. You see those guys diving in that water and swimming like that? Or the girl on the crossbar leaping? Is she scared? She's scared to death. You see the guy on the cross beams? See the guy on the rings before the world? Would you be scared? Oh, just scared. And so this is real. It's happening as we speak and so on. So I hope you get in on that and sort of this, if you can do it, I can do it. Look what they do. Or maybe I can't do it, but I sure admire you who do this. And so, we're all borrowing from each other's talents and faith and